Hey, what's up, everybody? Nick here is going live. Not the podcast yet, but we'll get there shortly. I just want to throw my man Joe on because every year he has a little, I guess it's family tradition from his kids, I believe it was, or his family in general about Joetober. And they make a big spectacle out of it where he posts a different video from, is it the My Face app or whatever it is?
Yeah,
Reface app.
Reface
Yeah,
app.
Reface app where he goes in there and he creates a little, finds a little scene from a movie or something, then, plugs his face into, and all of a sudden we got Joetober for 31 days. And then in one of them, I'm sure you'll see the bat costume come out. So closer to the 31st.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be closer to the 31st.
So everybody, hey, welcome to this live stream today with my good friend, Joe Stepke. What's up, Joe?
How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. I know this is like one of, I think I went on to Brian Schulman's Shout Out Saturday last week, and that was like a total surprise for him. I just got on, and then, I just started posting. I'll be on my regular thing that I do, posting at night and then doing the Joetober videos in the morning. And, but I want to tell you something. Do you know how it started?
How did it start, Joe?
It is not a family thing, because if I had my family right here, it's mixed messages every year. So my son, well, it's all me. I've always celebrated my birthday. It's the birthday month. Always have since I was probably, in my teens. It was like, this is my month. And that's how I celebrated it. And it just came. I just kept doing it. And then when you have kids and all their birthdays are in November. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Remember, I will call you and talk to you next week. I did get your message, so thank you. All the kids are in all the kids are in November, and guess what? They tell me, Dad, we don't call it like Sierra November or Logan November or November or whatever. And I go, you guys could. They go, no, you have your birthday all to yourself. Now, my son-in-law, coincidentally, has the same birthday in October, like October 24th. But I still say it's Joetober. I'm not sharing it with anybody, so it doesn't matter. So, but it all started with me, and it's funny, like when the family's all together, one person will say it's October, other ones will go like this. No, it's not. It's Joetober, and it's crazy. It's only because of me, though. It is all me, and my wife would tell you nobody gets a birthday for a whole month, but I do, and she even.
It's all about you, man.
It is all about me. Yeah, it is. It is.
So
I did that video this morning, like splicing it together, because I took two Reface and put it together because I love the Doctor Strange one, and I wanted to put that part in the middle with the whole Avengers and everything on there. So I love the video. That was awesome.
So you know what this month means, so Halloween's coming up. It's your birthday month. But, with you and everything that you post, the biggest debate's going to come up. Superman versus Batman. That's going to come up.
Yeah.
And it's always fun watching it every year because, I almost wore my Superman shirt today just because, but I'm going to rep my band Led Zeppelin today. So, it's always fun, man, because it's just fun seeing people's different opinions and just going at each other.
I know that. And Ira does. Well, you're on the email chain or that chain with us, and when I posted the one, next thing you know, he comes up with the Superman thing. I knew it was coming. It was coming.
We all knew it was coming. It's a matter of time.
And I'm good with it. I actually have watched Justice League, the Zack Snyder edition, more times than I could. I've just watched. I love that edition. I hope they come out with that universe, the Zack Snyder universe. It was awesome, and I hope they do it. But it just comes up, and it's not even about Batman this year. Even though I did not get my Iron Man costume this year, I will get it next year. I have goals in place. I'm getting it next year.
Right.
But I wanted that Iron Man costume so bad, but I'm going to do Batman again.
So Joe, you have all these different personalities, man. We got Joetober rolling, we got Iron Man going here, we got Batman, and then we got Joe the finance guy. See how all this ties together?
Yeah, it is. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Because I haven't done it in so long, and I'm not even signed in on the StreamYard. But I'll do it anyways. So all the opinions and items expressed on this show are of Joe the finance guy, Joe Stepke, and Nick Dorsey. It has nothing to do with the company that I work for, Acima Leasing and or Rent-A-Center. So all the opinions are mine, not of theirs. Thank you.
Perfect.
So good. Thank you.
I doubt they'll watch me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But
hey,
thanks for the support.
Hey, I just wanted to put it out there and let everybody know that hey, it has nothing to do with them. It's all me. God, I haven't done that in so long. I was talking to Ira, like we haven't done Cup of Joe in so long, and it was just the energy. Yeah, I really haven't had. I don't even know how to explain it. Just the energy to do it. Once I was working, I didn't want to do anything else afterwards. And I don't know if that was the COVID, like I was telling you before, if it wasn't because the me feeling it after having COVID, or like I said before, is it old age? Do I need to change up the vitamins that I have? More energy drinks. I have no idea. But I
took a whole month off, or longer than that, the whole summer.
Really? Well,
I haven't done anything since March, April, May. I think May was my last podcast I did live.
Really?
And yeah, May or June, somewhere right at the beginning of that. And I'm okay with it, man. I enjoyed the summer. I mean, it's freezing in Arizona right now. It's like in the low 60s, so we're freezing over here. So no more pool weather. So it's all sweatshirts and parkas and beanies.
Well, I was looking at everybody. So yesterday when I got on, before I was posting, I think I was doing it through the day because I had a lot of admin work I had to do here in the office. I'm going through because I'm looking at the signups for October and everything else. I finished the month strong. A lot of people wanted me to, need my help, Joe the finance guy stuff. So I'm going through some of it. I'm on there and I'm hitting everybody, because I have my favorites column on, like LinkedIn. So I could go directly to people's posts, not have to go through their profile to find their post or whatever. Just takes me right to their post. And there were some on there that haven't posted in a while, and some that like the profile's not there anymore. Like it's not there. And I was like, oh man, my God, what the hell happened? Has it been that long? And I think it's been about, definitely 2 months, almost 3 since I've been on.
Yeah. I took about the last 6 weeks off. I'd go on here and there, but I wouldn't post anything. It was a nice little mental break. It
is a little bit, I don't want to say stressful. It depends what you're doing, Nick. I'm going to tell you that. So during the time that I was not on LinkedIn, you get sucked into the phone. And, there's different, you play different games and stuff like that on the phone. And you start thinking, wait a minute, I really got to do other things to divert my time. And that's what got my shift again. Like, last weekend, it was, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep going on my phone and doing other things. I want to do something that's going to help me and get me back into the groove. And actually being on LinkedIn, being on social media, networking, doing the videos, because I'm in the process of working on my own sales classes on how to sell to people. And I'm not saying I'm the expert at it, but I know that I have done very well over the years. And it's not always about going in there and strong arming people, about educating them, finding out what they want, and turning around and how you could help them. How can you add value to their business? So I've been working on that, but I go like this. I got to get back on. I got to get back on because just being on the show last weekend, it really brought something back to me. I really was like, God, I miss this so much.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it in so long. And then all the awesome support from everybody, Nick, you, Ira, Damon, Erica, Peter, Rob, Curtis, Randy McNeely, Zach. There's so many people out there to mention that they all were checking up on me. Are you okay? How's everything going? And that's the friendship I miss. I know it's weird because we only know each other through, you and I have met in person.
Yeah.
And Ira is supposedly coming down here too to Indiana at some time.
You can get some garlic knots at that little Italian cafe.
No. No, if we were going to do anything, I'd make him eat here at the house.
Oh, I see how it is.
That wasn't it.
I know.
That had nothing to do with it. I think that was more on you where to meet, but maybe.
Yeah, it was because I was in Greenfield or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But anyways, it really, that's where the friendship where you really develop things. And I used to say a long time ago back in to three of my friends actually, Jim Kruko, Zoravko Jokic, and Corinne Casey, and we all grew up back in Illinois together. And one of the things that after I left high school during the military, and I think we were talking, I've always said you can never go back home again. And it's with this, I was wrong. I came back on and everybody really just accepted me and, hey, how you doing? And I really was not expecting as many it didn't do like what I usually used to get, like videos. And I'm not talking about the Joetober ones. I'm talking about like my regular nightly inspirational type things. But the response back, I was going, man, I've been gone that long and really, and me, I don't tag anybody anymore. Yeah. And it was just like people, it was great. It was a great feeling. And I appreciate all of you. Nick, you especially, you really called me, text me, make sure I was okay. And I do appreciate it. But there is no shame in taking the summer off.
No, there's not whatsoever.
No, there's not, because I bonded so much with my grandkids, my own children, that it was so great. It really, it was great not to have it, but it's not even a distraction, because if you map out the time, like first thing in the morning, I got up 6 o'clock, I worked out, and I started answering, some of the things, getting ready, and then did the Joetober, put it out, took a shower, boom. I was ready. I mean, honestly, I'd have been ready at 9, to leave for the day. And then tonight I'll get home probably I'll get back on maybe 6 or 7, answer a couple things. And I probably will. I never posted on the weekend before, usually the inspirational ones. I think I'm going to do it this time. Yeah. Oh, now you got a wider shot of the back.
I'm starting to forgot some of the little nuances I have to do on this. So this is a good run for me. Last night I was filling everything out. I was like, let me think about this again, because I haven't done it in so long. So
yeah, I would be off right now. I would have to get Ira to walk me through everything again to help me. Well, first off, I'd have to sign in, which it tells me right now, hey, do you want, it's up there, do you want to log in? Oh, it didn't do it automatically for me. I thought I had it on there automatically. So then I'd have to find that. And I remember we set up everything on the StreamYard, on everything that I had, like the backgrounds and everything was on there already. So I'd have to play with it, but I know he would do the right thing and walk me through it. Because we did talk about it's gotta come back at some point in time.
Oh, it does,
but it's not going to be this Friday.
No, you said that's today. But you said
it's not going to be
you mentioned about something like when you came out of the military that you never you don't go back home.
Right.
And I think it depends on what your definition of home is, if that makes sense. Because for like me, I mean, no offense to my family and friends, I'm not going back to Washington, and that's where I'm from. But I'm not going. I'm not going back there to live. You know. But I came back to my LinkedIn profile. You came back to your LinkedIn profile. If that's part of your definition of a home, that's good, because what it is it's not a physical place.
Right.
It's a virtual place.
Right.
So
it's in here.
Yeah. So it's not like you're physically doing something to get to this point.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you want to call physical going on your phone or your laptop, fine, but you're walking to a room. You're not physically getting up and moving. You're not relocating your family. You know, you're virtually checking in with people who, for you have created a good amount of business from this. So not only is this more of a friendship, it's business too. So it's your livelihood too.
Right.
So you have multiple aspects to this. You know, for me, this is fun. Like you said, there's a handful of people who will get a hold of me if they need to, not on this platform, but outside of it. So when I'm away, it doesn't bother me, you know, because I know if somebody really needs to get a hold of me, they know how to get a hold of me, you know. So, I mean, like you said, my granddaughter was here for almost 9 weeks. I got to spend a lot of quality time with her. First year, our pool, we got to use our pool because it got, you know, last year it finished during the fall. So, we spent a lot of time there outside. You know, we got our backyard all decked out now, you know, so just watching TV outside, having some adult beverages with friends, barbecuing, you know, I mean, doing what I moved down here to do. And I'm not going to let my phone or social media take that away from
take it away from it. Yeah. And I agree with you. Jen and I, we finished the sunroom, and that has been great. I did set up the pool.
Cool.
In there, so that was great too. And our patio got redone. And you're right, it's just spending that time. But to go back, you know what I mean by you can't never go back home is the way I was back in high school and the way I was with those friends. I'd be a fool to think that I could go back and that same relationship is just the same way. Now, yes, you know, has Jim been over to the house? Yeah. Have I talked to Zig and Corinne? Absolutely. And it's almost like we don't miss a beat because we remember back then. But you can't go back home thinking everything's going to be the same.
No, it's not. Everybody's changed.
Correct. And that's where I really I mean by that, because I have experienced it. When I go back home now with my own family, when I go and visit, there are certain roles within the family that we all go into. We all fall into these roles. One of the roles being, I'm the oldest. I was always the funny one. Surprise, surprise. And the one that always liked to be on stage. So they're the ones that always come up to me, you know, and, you know, you got the feisty one, you got the black sheep of the family, you got the one that just tries to make peace with everybody. We have that within our niche, and everything just falls back in line. My brother, there is one thing I do not like. I mean, not so much not like, but I hate being called Joey. Now, it's just a personal preference, because I had a person a long time ago that kept going, "Hey, Joey Buttafuoco." And
Joey bag of donuts.
Yeah, and I never. Joey was like a baby kangaroo. I didn't like it, and it was funny. But my brothers are the ones that call me that, and always, "Hey Joey, hey Joey, hey Joey," and those are the only ones I like. Just like my wife cannot stand Jenny. I can't call her Jenny. No, nobody else. It's Jen. However, her family, they all call her Jenny. So it's the same thing there too.
My whole family calls me Nikki. So I mean, it's just
do they really? It's Nikki.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's from back east. You know, everybody is like your name ends up in a Y somehow. It's Nikki, correct. Dickie, Richie, Vinny. Right. You know, I mean, just all my cousins. That's just how it was. So, and plus my dad, my grandpa, my dad, and I have the same name. So when we're over here, that was the way to separate it. But then when all three of us were together, they'd say Nicky. Well, they're talking to my dad because that's what they called him when he was younger. So
Right.
used to get all confusing when I was a little kid. I'm like, what's going on? That's my name.
Are they talking to me?
Yeah, because I called him Dad and Grandpa, so I never heard, So, yeah, it's just every family has nicknames for everyone. It's interesting, and there's some that we won't probably say on air. But
that's funny. I was thinking the same thing, Nick. There are some out there. I know there. One of my brothers probably has a couple doozies for me. I'm sure.
But going back to friends from our childhood and everything, growing up, another reason why you can't go back is if you want to look at it in perspective, because you think of those times, you think of those good times that you had.
Yep.
And you can take it how you want, but your area, your culture, the world has changed since then. Back then we had 13 channels. We had rabbit ears on our TV, so it forced us to go outside because there was never anything really on TV. I mean, Disney, those little Disney cartoons would only pop up certain hours of the day.
Correct.
So, the rest of it was soap operas during the day or talk shows. So it forced us to go out, and I mean, just growing up was always a bunch of us playing football or basketball, riding our bikes down the street, playing tag or Red Rover, we hide and seek. I mean, we were doing that because we had woods and everything around us. It was a lot of fun. And I remember a couple of years back, Joe, my wife and I, we took a drive through where she grew up, because she grew up in 4 or 5 different houses in her little town she lived in. So when we were in Washington, we drove through it, and it was a beautiful day. And Washington don't get those too often. And we're just like, we're looking around. There's nobody outside. I'm like, God, when we're kids and it was like this, I mean, there'd be kids everywhere. Because the funny thing is now you got to force your kids to go outside. They had to drag us into the house because we wanted out so bad. It was when the street light came on, you went home.
I was talking to one of my friends, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my neighbors down just a couple houses down, Michael Tharp. Him and I were saying the same thing, that we would come home 9, 10 o'clock at night. Hey, Mom, how are you? And just, go upstairs, do whatever, and go to sleep. And then the next day, do it all over again. Yeah. The kids nowadays, and I hate to say it, makes me sound like those whippersnappers. The kids nowadays, it's like there is so much, and I don't even want to just say kids. We all fall into it. We all fall into the whole binge watching, so many things out there, phone, computer time. And COVID didn't help with that.
No.
Hey, you're on lockdown. All right.
Yep. Screen time goes up.
Yeah. Hey, give me those chips. Bring them over here.
Yeah.
Something like that. It doesn't help. And I think that's where we have become, because I know my kids, I got to force them outside. Now, I really do. My oldest daughter being in college, or not oldest daughter, excuse me. My second oldest is 28, and she's got her own family and stuff. Second oldest, she's at Ball State right now, and she only comes home on the weekends, but she tries to do something. I mean, I see pictures of her doing stuff at college every single day, trying to do different things and stuff. So I'm glad she's having a good time. And Sierra, she's over in marching band right now, which she's doing awesome. I'm so proud of her doing that. I actually have to do something for the Noblesville band. I volunteered, so I'm doing Black Gold tomorrow night, parking lot duty from 5 to 8 p.m. Yay.
Right on.
I will tell you, the last time I did it, I had a go-kart, and I think I hit something. So I don't think they'll let me in the go-kart again.
I don't. Don't take those couple extra drinks before you go, Joe.
I know.
Calms the nerves.
It does. It does calm the nerves. But my youngest, he's a gamer, and that is hard. He's a gamer, loves anime. Hey, why don't you go outside? No, thanks. I'm good.
One thing I did notice when we moved to Arizona, a lot of the kids do spend a lot more time outside, but I think it depends where you're from, because it's always nice here. So it's ingrained most people have pools. So from before they walk, a lot of kids are swimming already.
Right.
So I think it's ingrained in them. You're there, like coming from Washington, it rains so much. it's easy to fall into the gamer side of it, the phone side of it, the computer.
Right.
Now kids don't want to go in the rain. We wanted to play in the mud and everything. I mean, we'd roll, run, slide through the mud. You'd have the mud room. Your parents, you just strip yourself down like in the garage or something, and walk into the house and go right into the shower. But times have changed. Times have changed in that aspect. I mean, I think life was a lot. I don't mean it carefree, but more laid back. When it was.
You got to think, and this is another thing. Perfect example of this. Like we shelter our kids.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, Tori, my 18-year-old, the one that's at college, she went on her first vacation with her boyfriend. Her and her boyfriend went, and they stayed at a hotel. I'm not going to say the name of the hotel. However, it's not a bad one. I've stayed there when I was younger. And she got grossed, called me up on or FaceTime me and, Dad, how do you check for bed bugs? All right. You just take the flashlight. I was telling her where to check, how to check, blah, blah, blah. She goes like this. Yeah, this is just such a, really scuzzy hotel. And I looked at it like she was taking me around and it didn't look bad. I go, listen, kid, you know what? You've been sheltered so much because when we go places now, we're staying at higher end places that when you see something like this, ew, I don't want to. I mean, if you knew some of the rat traps that I've held up in, I mean, you can't be picky. And, as long as I have a bed to lay my head in, I'm usually good, but we protect our kids from those things. They don't see it. And they have been sheltered. And that's where I think, like with her, I kept telling her, you don't know how it really is. My oldest does, because she remembers staying in those hotels with her mother and I when we're going. We didn't have money, a lot of money back then. If we went on a trip somewhere and we were going to stay at, Motel 6, it did
keep the light on.
Yeah, keep the light on. It didn't matter. It was almost like, oh my gosh, we're on vacation together. And that's how it was. But nowadays you try to protect your kids so much because there's a lot of things out there. You're talking about just the crime out there. You're talking about sex trafficking. That's another thing that you worry about when people go to college and everything.
It's one of those things that's weird. I think it's,
and I'm sure it was always here.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's 100% social media, and I'm going to tell you why. Social media puts fear into people because, like you said, sex trafficking, which is horrible. Do not get me wrong. Kidnapping, all that stuff is always been around. It's just more glorified now because of social media. It gets around more.
And I wouldn't even say social media. I would just put media.
Well, you didn't hear much about stuff that was happening unless it was local. Like I was in Washington, I heard the local stuff on news. I didn't hear a lot of what's going on in California or Texas, Oklahoma. You didn't hear about it because news was more of a local unless it was more based out of the president had a speech or something going on back in the day. Then they covered a lot of that stuff. Right. But you didn't hear a lot of things past then. And plus, with very few channels and the news only on certain parts of the day, you're outside most of the time. So you had no time to hear anything. And I'm not saying that stuff needed to be hidden or everything. Do not get me wrong when I say that. But I'm just saying you didn't think about it as much. So it made everything a little more laid back, if that matters. Because look at back in the day. Kids were kidnapped, things happened, but I rode my bike all over our town, all over our city. I'd go for miles out and come back, and there wasn't even a second thought about it. But now, man, people are freaked out. You can't go down the street. I got to be able to see you, and that, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it just puts the fear factor into things, don't drink water out of a hose. Well, Joe, we're both here to talk about it.
Right.
Pregnant women.
But you want to know something?
Don't eat sushi or don't eat fish when you're pregnant. Come on. people have done that for years. Don't do this. Don't do that. Hey, we're good. we are absolutely fine.
I remember drinking water out of the hose.
Yeah.
I won't do it now.
Yeah.
I don't do it. It's only because it's just, I don't know what it is. I even changed the way that I do things.
I tell you what, you don't drink water out of a hose here, especially in the summer, because the water will come out about 140 degrees. So it'll scold you.
There you go. So
I mean, everything they tell you don't have to do because it's going to affect your life or kill you. I've done every one of them, and I'm cool. I'm pretty cool. The only worst thing gave me is this gray hair going right here. But besides that, I'm okay. The rest of it, I did to myself playing sports. So
yeah, you're in good company with the gray hair. I know it's distinguished. I know I got a little bit of it, but
I know. I mean, you got to lay back in the haircuts there, my friend.
I know.
It's not coming back as fast. Yeah.
No, it is not. But it's still. I like a nice, high, tight, and shaven type. Yeah, that's
you got to keep that fedora rocking, man.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's where after I leave here, I'll be in Indianapolis going around, and it's funny. I have to. That's one of the projects Ira and I got to finish up on is the merchandising on the website to get that done, because I have hats now and pens. I love do I have a pen in here? Let me see if I got a pen. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Look at that. Look at you.
Joe, the finance guy. And it has on there the hashtag, the be educated, not sold.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love that because I carry it around with me, and one of the pens I carry around with me, and I got a bunch in the car. And I actually had a use for it where one of the people that I went to, one of my retailers, they had a couple of the competitors competitors of mine. And some of those competitors were not very forthright in what they said the program was. Mm-hmm. And I was there when a customer was complaining about it. And I go like this, well, if you have access, why don't you bring up her agreement right there and look at it? You could see, what they did. And I was texting one of my friends that worked for this other company that really told me, no, not everybody's approved for a certain tier. And I go, well, it's right there. It does say it. It's on the thing. So the customer was upset. The retailer was upset. And I looked at the retailer. I pulled out my pen and I go like this, you know what? This is classic. Be educated, not sold. Everybody's going to come in and say, they're going to say to you, you need us. We're better than this. We're better than that. I've been around here for 6 years. 6 years doing this and helping people grow their business, not just, and I'm not trying to make this about Joe, the finance guy, but it's.
Yes, you are.
It's a little bit. I haven't plugged that in so long, so it just helps me on there. But it's one of those things. I gave her the pen and go, next time someone comes in, they start telling you, and it seems to be too good to be true, call me or have them call me. Remember, be educated, not sold. And I'm very transparent with my retailers. I've always told them they should have 2, but it's not always the case. When somebody comes in, they're just trying to grab their business and then they never see them again. Come on. I'm the guy that I want people to call me and let me help them, because it's not about the company I work for anymore. It's about how can I help them grow their business. I have one person that's calling me today about search engine optimization to help her with her marketing to grow her own business.
Look at you, SEO guy right here.
Oh no, I'm not. No. I just learned from a lot of you. So you guys, all my friends on LinkedIn, but they have helped me. I know, and Ira has, and Michael. These guys have talked about search engine optimization all the time, and all of you. So something was about to rub off on me. So I would learn, listen, the more you post, the more you're going to be out there.
The more adding the keywords.
Yep. The keywords. that was Erica's big thing whenever she did an article for me. And I'll give her props right now because she is one of my ghostwriters. Yeah, if you guys think I write like that,
you see some of my writings, you know where they come from.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
Yeah. I know. I have. She does my articles. Ira does the press releases. Yeah, I'm a freaking genius. Yeah, I look good, but
listen,
it is
smarter, not harder, my friend. That's
exactly.
Yep.
Batman delegates. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. I have Jordan do stuff for me, which is I'm very grateful for, and Erica does some blog writing, when I ask her to proofread things, hey, put in your fancy words somewhere. That's what I tell her.
And she is just awesome at it.
Yeah.
I know that's I give her a lot of credit. I haven't done it in a while, and I have to. And there's so many new things.
She's got some awesome stuff going on. You should get a hold of her. I mean,
I know she did say that. I said that I would reach out to her.
It is dude. I'm so happy for her. She's rolling right now. She's doing well. Yeah. I'm very excited for her, and her and I are talking about some things. So hopefully some of those things work out. So,
and I'm glad it has because I know that she needs to fall into something. Well, she always does. Yes, people like us, we find ways to win, and we find ways of how we can be better, and I think that's the key. And she's just an awesome person.
The biggest key for people out there, if you're watching us, which doesn't look like there's that many, this is obviously a bad time of the day to do this, so I mental note to myself. It's being persistent. That's the biggest thing. Just be persistent and don't burn your bridges.
Right.
And people don't realize that is, there are people out there that they're willing to help. They want to help.
Yep.
But you got to be patient with them. You can't push unless you guys got a contract together,
Right.
But it's like me calling you, Joe. I need this. And you're like, okay. And I'm like, well, I need it in 2 hours. Well, that's not fair to you.
Right.
And that just makes me look like a complete a-hole. So, I mean, I understand now if I'm up front, hey, Joe, I need help. I need it done in a couple hours. Can this get done? How much do you need? Different story.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you're just persistent, I mean, look at you took some time off. I took some time off. I mean, my first poll I did a couple weeks ago after 6 weeks off got over 100,000 views and like 1,200 votes. I mean,
wow.
That came out of nowhere, dude. But it did have the key, like we talked about SEO. It had the keywords in there, it had the key hashtags in there, and it was something that people were talking a lot. That's what I do, and I do a lot of my polls. I don't know if people notice. I have some fun ones, but when I do them, I go through my network or through my feed and see what are people talking a lot about. Yeah. And you hit that key, all of a sudden you get a ton of engagement on because, hey, I hate to say it, and people like polls, people hate polls, whatever, but guess what? They're the flavor of the week, and the algorithm is going crazy with them, so I jump on them. I mean, I got over 400 followers, dude. You know how long it's taken me to add 400 followers? And that's in a 24 or 48-hour period. You know how long it's taken me to get that many just doing normal? And the algorithm's just nuts, so you just go with it.
I saw that yesterday. I was like, there is poll after poll after poll. Yeah. And I go like this, is Thursday the poll day?
It's just the flavor of the week now, man. The algorithm is favoring polls right now. So it's like anybody else. If people bitch about them, you can bitch all you want about it, but guess what? It's marketing. You go with what's hot. So I go with.
And I'm actually not bitching about it. It did.
Oh, not you, but
I did.
Theory.
I know, but I did like it, and it was just one after the other, and I'm like going, wow. And I guess I did miss something. So with that, maybe I do a poll later on.
There's this guy. I won't mention his name. You probably know who he is. But I did a poll and he bitched about it on there a little bit. I was like, really, dude? Well, thank you. And he came back. He's like, huh? You agree with me? I said, no. But you took the time out of your day to respond to my poll that you do not like. You just opened me up to your whole network. Like
Right.
8 or 9 people liked your post because they believe the same thing. That's fine, but they just opened me up to all their network, and my engagement just went crazy. So marketing 101, I just won. Thank you very much. And
See, there you go.
you know, and I go, you could have took that time that you spent complaining about my poll and creating some good content for what you need to sell. But you just lost money complaining about my thing where you could have created something and made some money for you.
Right.
I go, thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what? People may not look at this, but I take this as support. You just supported my post.
Yep. I agree.
And you know, and oh god, that dude just lost it. He DM'd me and just lost it. I'm like, dude, it's all good, man. I'm not mad or whatever. He was mad because I called him out. But I'm like, if you're gonna go on and do something like that, if you're gonna criticize someone, if you can't take getting called out, then don't do it.
I do like some of the trolling when people do that, Nick. I mean, it does make one of the bigger, prior to like me doing it, one of my bigger posts in the beginning, and you know what I'm talking about, prior to like me doing the videos, you know what I'm talking about, because once I started doing those videos, I started getting more, you know, I guess influencer as they call it. But one of them was from somebody trolled me. And I don't know if you remember, because I took the picture of the screenshot.
Yeah,
of what the guy said. And I was like, and you kill them with kindness, because it was like, you know, what are you going to say to a troll? I mean, who cares?
I don't fire back. For me, it depends what type of mood I'm in.
Right.
I usually like having fun with them. So I'll just fire back and mess around with them. I'll totally mess with them, you know, and people are like, oh, you're wasting your time doing that. I'm like, I don't care. It's my post. I can do what I want. Number one. Number two, I find it funny. And number three, there's one time I don't know if you're involved with it, but I told like a handful of people, they just went in, man. We just destroyed this dude. It was funny.
I can't remember. But I think it's fun. I really
that was like a year and a half ago.
When people do that sort of thing, it's but whatever.
It's all good. Hey, they got bigger issues to deal with, man. You know, I mean,
if they're complaining about if they're complaining about a post like and it wasn't something that offended.
It's a freaking LinkedIn post, man. Yeah. Come on, that's
it wasn't anything that. God, I can't even remember what the post was about. I mean, it was happy joy. It was one of my posts. It wasn't a negative thing. It was a positive thing. Oh, I do remember. The guy said something that you're probably positive. You're probably happy in death or something like that, or whatever. Like I was too positive for him. And I do remember that a little bit. But
that makes no sense.
I know, but everybody else came to my, like, they're the ones that attacked him and stuff. I didn't really have to say anything. Going, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
I just laugh at something. Sometimes, like somebody on my last poll, you know, they put something on there, and I was just like, I didn't even like it or respond to it. I'm like, it's just not even a waste of the time, because here's a couple of things. I got an international following. You do too. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I have to kick back and realize a lot of people who are commenting on from out of the country don't have the greatest of English skills. So they could be saying something, but when they're writing it, it looks different. So I try to be very, you know, thoughtful when I respond back to some people, because sometimes I have to kick back and realize, yeah, there you go, Joe. Sorry, I'm the phone button there.
I did. I muted it. I muted it.
But you know, some people I look at how they word it and misspell a lot of words and everything in there. I'm like, okay, they're meaning something else. It just didn't come out right, you know. So I just try to leave it alone, just like and say thank you, you know, because I don't want to respond into it and then create a whole nother can of worms, I guess, or go down a rabbit hole you don't want to.
Right.
So, but it is what it is. Hey, Joe, I gotta get going, man. But I just want to jump on for Joetober is in the house. The video started today. Go check out his page. The first one dropped this morning, everyone.
Yep. It's of the Marvel universe. I'm wondering if I should do an Italian motif tomorrow, or I don't know. I got some ideas.
If I have to make a guest appearance on one of your videos, I'm cool with it.
All right, good.
Oh, but okay, Mr. Paul right here. Who,
oh,
but shit
I
emoji
love that.
is universal. You're absolutely
Hi,
correct.
Paul. I
He
missed
is
the coffee
absolutely
breaks.
Oh, the copper breaks were fun when I was able to jump on them.
Yeah,
Back in the day, God, that was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, I know. It was.
I've been at my new position now for almost 10 months.
Wow.
The time has just flown, man. Because I'm like, I got this thing the other day. I'm like, your evaluation's up in a month and a half. I was like, oh damn, that was quick. Got to renew my badge and everything, my travel license. So,
but that is awesome, and I'm glad, Nick, that you're happy at that. That is.
Yeah, it's a lot of good times. Like I said, it's concert season, so I've been having to be the manager / director on duty for a handful of them so far. So those have been kind of fun experiences. You know, I've never worked at a resort that had a concert venue, so it's a big concert venue. It's a big amphitheater, so it's
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I had some good acts so far. You know, we had some, someone's going on. I mean, we had ESPN boxing there. Had Ice Cube there a couple weeks ago. He was a lot of fun. They got a cover band tonight. It's an 80s Motley Crue cover band. So
that still would be good though.
Yeah. Bunch of big name, Midland has got a couple shows there, some big country concerts, so there's a tamale festival there. I'm in Arizona, and it's like It brings in the biggest crowd. I mean, they have all these vendors out there, and everybody makes their own type of tamales, and there's contests for them and everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm up for that one. I'm good. I'm gonna check
that is awesome. Well, take pictures tonight. Have fun.
Yeah, well,
and thanks.
I got some videos I could share with you from a couple of the concerts. It was just fun, and the place was being packed, and
oh my God, share them with me.
The first one, really quick, it wasn't huge, but it was Sheila E. and Shaka Khan. And you want to talk about throwback to the 80s?
Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Shaka Khan. Everybody Shaka. See, I and actually listening to that, I see Jordan doing his little
little break dancing.
Yeah. His little break dance thing. So Jordan, if you're watching it, I could see you doing that. So
but the one thing I wanted to say, that was our first concert back after 2 years there and everything. And you should have just seen the joy on people's faces, being out, doing their thing. It was just, for me, it was better than the concert. People are just enjoying themselves, having fun, and almost back to their normal life.
Right.
That was really cool.
Yep. And that's what we need a lot more of, because seeing that, I know it would be great. And I can't wait till we're able to go out freely again, and everything is just, hey,
come to Arizona, dude. You can have that. So
okay, good.
Make a trip here. Yeah, I mean, we have all types of festivals going on right now. Pumpkin and chili festivals just started up. The garlic festival just got done. There's a corn festival, taco festival. They got everything going, because now the weather's down. Now it's in the low 90s, high 80s during the day, which is cold for here.
Right.
And so everybody's out bundled up, and it's festival season. People's got the fire pits going. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
I ought to talk to Jen about moving down there.
Come on down, man. You do most of your stuff virtually. Business is booming, so they need some loans down here.
Hey. There you go.
Our economy is just red hot here.
That's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
So,
well, listen, awesome, I'm going to the VA and start my work. But listen, man, I will talk to you later. Thank you very much for having me on, Nick. You are awesome.
Happy Joetober, my friend.
Thanks, Nick. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Talk to y'all later.